What we have here is a Casablanca 20th Century Limited. Antique brass with antique white full blade cane blades. Lovely, lovely cane blades. Isn't that nice? Yeah. This model dates to 1982. There's your label, pull chain and variable speed knob. Since it's an 82, it uses the Hang-Tru canopy. I don't believe the glass is original. Most of these came with 4 light kits. Anyway, with the pull chain, since this is variable speed, the pull chain is 3-way, so it's fan, and then light, and then fan. Again, combo. So yeah, this model is it's dated February of 1982. Now here's the really screwed up part. This one has a K63 in it. Yeah. Casablanca stopped using the K63 in 1980, and that's when they introduced the K55. So you're probably thinking, why the hell does an 82 have a K63? Yeah, good question. I have no real answer for that. The only thing I can think of is they found a few leftover parts, few leftover K63s, few leftover K63 housings, and they kind of ran with it and created this thing. Yeah, very bizarre. So now we're going to see what it does. This is the factory setting on the trim pot, I believe. So it's super slow. For one reason, one of the light sockets doesn't work. I need to fix that. Probably end up replacing it. Although it looks like it was already replaced. So yeah, there's your aesthetic low. Now another thing with this fan is the flywheel is warped. The flywheel Casablanca used with their K63 fans, it has a tendency, it doesn't break. They don't break, or at least very rarely do they break, but they do like to warp. And as you can kind of see, the blades are kind of drooping down. This is fixable. These flywheels are kind of malleable. If you screw them to a board, spray WD-40 on them, over time, a few weeks, they'll go back into shape. At this point you can barely hear the motor. That aesthetic low. Now we're going to turn the knob about quarter turn. As with all K63 fans, the variable speed control is solid state based, so it does buzz a bit, although not as much as I expected. Now it's a slightly useful low, slightly being the key term here. Turn up to another quarter of a turn. Now it's a normal low. Turn up. About an eighth of a turn. I opened the motor up. Open the motor housing up. The K63 in this one appears to be rather small. It looks to be about the size of a 36-inch Emerson heat fan. Now, Emerson had a lot of inconsistency when it came to the motors supplied for Casablanca. They just gave them whatever the hell they felt like, pretty much. In the early days of Casablanca, Tom Frampton and Burton A. Burton didn't exactly know what they were doing. They had yet to gain the experience they currently have. So, they were getting motors of various sizes. Some were slow, some were fast. This one appears to be a smaller one. Although, the tag on the motor, it does have information. It is rated for 1.5 amps, 350 RPM, which seems fast for a 52-inch fan, more akin to a 36-inch. But, yeah, we're going to see what it does anyway, aren't we? Drop another notch. It's starting to move air now. Alright, let's put it to full blast and see what it does. Because of the warping, flywheel warping, the fan does wobble a bit, but it's not terrible. Surprisingly, the fan does fly. When I saw the motor, I was not expecting this. It's doing at least 200 RPMs. So, it's definitely not weak. If that's what you were thinking. Anyway, let's turn it off. Surprisingly, the bearings in the K63 aren't too bad. I mean, they are developing the normal sound bearings of its age have, but they're not terrible. They're not rough. They're not sticky. Not hissy yet. So, that's all good. Found this fan at a new habitat that opened up in my area. First time I went, there were 3 fans, they were turds. I go back, one of the fans sold, but there was another one on the floor, and it was this thing, and I'm like, what? So, quickly picked it up, and now it's here. Now, as you can kind of see, the reverse switch is in one of the vents. This is typical of almost all K63 Casablancas. I mean, a few of the earliest ones were not reversible, but this one clearly is. So, it's all fun. Now, we're going to see what it does in terms of acceleration on high and reverse. Yeah, not too bad. If I had to guess, I'd say this one does about 200 RPMs, maybe a little more. Not as powerful as some K63s, like the Zephyr I got recently, but it's not bad. And we turn out again. I'll probably end up replacing the fitters on the light at some point, because the fitters in the early 80s, they liked to warp, and these were apparently recalled because the glass would like to fall out. So, after a while, the tightening of the set screw will turn the fitter into a bit of a triangle, and it's not really good. So, yeah. I'll end up replacing them soon enough. And there you have it. A very, very, very late K63 Casablanca 20th Century Limited.